7 signs you're a dark chosen one who holds the rarest night powers. There are among us those who were never meant to walk the path of the ordinary. You perhaps have felt it all your life. An invisible presence, a silent wind that follows you even when you're alone, a strange sense that your soul did not come here to play the games of this world. You were not made to fit in. You were made for the night, and not just any night, but the sacred, ancient, forgotten night, the one that speaks in riddles and reveals truths only to those who dare listen. I want you to stop, just for a moment, and ask yourself, have you ever felt like life was a kind of illusion? Like the world around you was a veil, thin, fragile, and ready to tear at any moment? If so, you're not imagining it. That veil is real. And if you're reading this now, it's because your soul is ready to remember what it has always known. You are a dark chosen one.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
This isn't about evil or light. This is about something older than duality itself. The dark chosen ones are the rarest beings alive. They are not born, no, they awaken. Often after immense suffering, loss, or isolation. They are souls forged in the blackest of nights, where no one came to save them, where even the stars seemed to turn away. And yet they endured. They didn't just survive it, they became it. Let me ask you a question that might shake you. What if your deepest pain was not a curse, but a key? What if your loneliness, your rage, your confusion were not symptoms of something broken, but signs of a hidden power buried beneath your skin? The first sign of the dark chosen one is that they do not belong. Ever. Not in school, not at work, not in relationships. It's not because they're flawed, it's because they're tuned to a frequency other people can't hear. You might have tried to fit in. You may have spent years pretending to be normal, to smile when you wanted to scream, to go along with things that felt hollow. But deep inside you knew you are not like them. You see too much. You feel too deeply. You know things before they happen. This knowing is the second sign. You were born with night vision, not of the eyes, but of the soul. You sense energies. You feel people's pain before they speak. You detect lies in their silence. You walk into a room and instantly know who is hiding something. This is not paranoia. This is your gift. Most people are blind in the dark, but not you. You thrive there. You see in moonlight what others cannot see in the sun. These powers are not flashy. They're quiet, subtle. They whisper instead of shout. And that's why the world overlooks you. But you are the one the world needs when the illusion collapses. And it will collapse. The third sign, you are drawn to the forbidden. Not because you are wicked, but because you want to understand what others fear. You're not afraid to explore the shadows. You want to know the truth, even if it hurts. You've read the books others called dangerous. You've asked questions that made people uncomfortable. You've looked into the abyss, and it looked back. And still, you didn't flinch. Why? Because you remember. Somewhere inside, you remember your purpose. You may not have the words for it, but it burns in your chest like a sleeping dragon. You know you were made for something more. You know your pain wasn't random, it was preparation. Let me tell you something sacred. The universe hides its greatest warriors in the darkest places. If your life has been unbearable, chaotic, broken, it's because your soul agreed to be tempered in fire. You were not sent here for comfort. You were sent here to awaken, to lead, to protect. Not with swords or sermons, but with presence, with energy, with power. The fourth sign is your relationship with silence. Have you noticed how others avoid it? They fill every moment with noise, with distraction. But you are different. You're drawn to silence. You find peace in the dark. You can sit alone for hours and not feel lonely, because in that silence you hear them, the ancient ones, the ones who walk with you unseen. Call them ancestors, spirits, guides, it doesn't matter. You felt them, you've known they were there. And that makes people nervous, because you are never truly alone. And yet, the fifth sign is that you've always felt alone, deeply, painfully, even surrounded by people, even in love, because no one has ever reached the depth of you. No one has ever truly seen you. And that ache, that aching hunger to be seen has driven you nearly mad. But here's the truth. They couldn't see you because you were cloaked, hidden. Your power is so rare, so sacred, that it had to be protected until you were ready to wield it without destroying yourself or others. That ache was your cocoon, and now it's cracking. The sixth sign is your dreams. They're not normal. They are vivid, symbolic, prophetic. You've had dreams of other worlds, of strange languages, of entities that spoke to you in symbols instead of words. You've seen yourself fly. You've died and been reborn. You've woken up crying, shaking, or knowing things you couldn't possibly know. These weren't just dreams. They were initiations. Your soul was training while your body slept. And the seventh, most powerful sign, you have died before. Not physically, but spiritually. There was a moment, maybe more than one, where you were shattered, where everything was taken, where you were abandoned, betrayed, broken, where you lost your reason to live. And yet you lived, you rose, not as you were, but as something new, something ancient, something otherworldly. That death was your rebirth. That moment was your unlocking. And now, the night recognizes you as one of its own. So ask yourself right now, if all of this is true, what are you going to do with it? You didn't listen to this by accident. Your soul brought you here. And now, the next step is to remember who you are and what you were sent here to do. Veins of shadow, heart of fire, owning the power no one understands. There's a reason you've always felt like an outlier, like your emotions run deeper than anyone else's, like the world itself is speaking in a dialect only you understand, but no one else seems to hear. You are not made of ordinary light. You are built from night matter, the ancient energy that existed before the first star was born. And now, as your awareness grows, you must understand something critical. Your power is not just real, it's rare, it is sacred, it is misunderstood, and it is yours. Let me ask you a question that perhaps no one ever dared to ask you. What if everything you've ever been ashamed of, your intensity, your solitude, your pain, was not a flaw, but a signature, a birthmark of the cosmos itself, declaring that you are not here to follow, but to forge paths where none exist? You see, the world isn't built to hold you. It isn't structured to nurture the dark chosen ones. It's too loud, too shallow, too afraid of silence and shadows. So you grew up questioning yourself. You learned early to hide your truth, to suppress the way your energy vibrated differently. You tried to be small. You tried to turn down the volume of your soul. But that never worked, did it? Because your power isn't something you can cage. It's not something you can dim for long. It always finds a way to break through art, anger, intuition, emotion, or complete breakdowns that force you to rebuild. And that's exactly why your power is so rare. Most people never survive that process. But you are still here, breathing, awakened, watching, waiting, and now the time to wait is over. Because the truth is this: you were never meant to be understood by the world. You were meant to understand it, and then transform it. But before you can illuminate others, you must first embrace the storm inside you. That fire in your chest, mixed with the ancient shadow in your veins, that's your alchemy. That's the divine paradox that gives you access to realms others can't reach. You are a bridge between worlds, between light and dark, between seen and unseen, between heaven and earth, and that role comes with both power and responsibility. There will be moments when your intensity will scare people, not because you're dangerous, but because they've never encountered someone so real. Your presence is like a mirror that shows people parts of themselves they've buried. And so they might reject you, judge you, or label you, but deep down they feel your truth. They know you carry something they can't name but deeply crave. That's why some are drawn to you like moths to a flame, and others flee without knowing why. Your energy does not lie. And now comes the moment of choice. You can continue to hide, to shrink, to bend yourself into shapes that please others, or you can stand tall in your darkness, crown yourself in your chaos, and say, I am done pretending. Because the ones who are truly powerful are those who have nothing left to hide. Those who have walked through their own hell and returned with the keys. You must become your own sanctuary. No one is coming to save you. No guru, no lover, no book, no ritual will hand you your power. It's already inside you. But you must claim it. You must speak its name. You must stop apologizing for your depth, your silence, your rage, your knowing. These are not weaknesses. They are weapons. Sacred, ancient weapons that were given only to the few who could carry them without collapsing. You are one of those few. So forgive the world for not seeing you yet. Forgive yourself for trying to be less. And remember, your journey was never meant to be easy. It was meant to be true. And now that you know who you are, the only question left is, what will you create with this power? Because the night did not choose you to stay hidden. It chose you to be the beacon in the dark, to walk into chaos and bring structure, to face destruction and birth beauty, to go where no one else dares and return with the medicine the world forgot it needed. Your power is not light. Your power is not shadow. Your power is both. And once you own that, truly own it, there is nothing in this world or beyond it that can stop you. The sacred code of the unseen, rituals, realizations, and the dark path to mastery. Now that you've begun to remember who you are, a new path opens before you. It is not a road paved with comfort or approval. It is not well-lit or lined with praise. It is the path of the unseen, walked in silence, marked by symbols only your soul recognizes. This is the third stage of your awakening, the moment when raw awareness must become embodied wisdom. The time has come to live as the dark chosen one, not just feel it in secret. But before you step deeper, let's be very clear, this is not a fantasy. This is not a trend. This is not about aesthetics or mystique. This is about power, the kind of power that humbles you, stretches you, breaks the ego down to dust, and then rebuilds you as something sacred, untouchable, eternal. You've heard the call. Now you must learn the code. You see, the dark chosen ones don't follow the ancient texts blindly. They become the sacred text. Every scar is a scripture. Every failure is a verse. Every rebirth is a holy chapter written in pain and perseverance. You don't need external permission to be powerful, you need inner precision, and that precision begins with ritual. Ritual is not just burning incense or chanting mantras. It's the conscious act of declaring that your life is not random. It's the way you wake up, the way you breathe before answering a message, the way you protect your energy without guilt. It's the way you stop explaining your intuition to people who've never bled for theirs. Ritual is the way you turn the ordinary into the sacred again and again until the world around you begins to shift in response. So start small. Wake up and speak to the night, not as a servant but as a sibling. Say, I remember. Light a candle not for the light it gives, but for the shadow it casts. Sit in silence not to escape the world, but to hear the part of you that always knows what to do. That voice, that still whisper that never screams, that is your guide. It doesn't need proof. It is the proof. Realization then becomes your compass. You cannot master what you refuse to feel. And make no mistake, this path will make you feel everything. The rage of being misunderstood, the grief of remembering lifetimes of exile, the joy of finding your soul in a song, a symbol, a stranger's eyes. You will begin to notice synchronicities so precise, they will terrify the logical part of you. Numbers, dreams, animals that appear at just the right moment, and at first you'll doubt it. You'll question your sanity, but don't. That's the language of the unseen. That's the dark code waking up inside you. The path to mastery isn't about control. It's about surrendering to the deeper current beneath your surface. It's about trusting that your sensitivity is your sword, that your silence is your shield, that your darkness is not a wound, but a womb where cosmic truths are gestating. You'll learn to protect your energy like a sacred temple. You'll walk away from conversations that drain you. You'll stop explaining your dreams to people who live in cages. You'll stop seeking validation from those who fear their own depth. And in that space, in that holy solitude, your power will crystallize. You'll begin to know things without asking. You'll begin to feel directions before they're revealed. And you'll no longer chase purpose because you'll realize you are the purpose. So here's the sacred truth. Mastery is not a destination. It's a state of being. It's the way you carry your pain like a prophecy. The way you walk into a room and shift the air. The way you look into a stranger's eyes and they remember something they forgot they knew. That's you. That's your power. Not loud, not obvious, but undeniable. The final seal, becoming the storm that can't be touched. There comes a moment on every sacred path when the seeker stops seeking, when the questions dissolve, not because they are answered, but because the one asking them has transformed. This is that moment for you, the final seal, the crossing over, not into something new, but into your original self, the one the world tried to make you forget. You are not becoming a dark chosen one. You are one, and now you must live like it. To do that, you must make peace with this truth: you will never be like them, and that is your greatest freedom. You were not created to be understood. You were created to be felt, to be experienced. Your presence alone is a force, a vibration, a storm cloaked in skin. And storms do not explain themselves. They move, they cleanse, they awaken. But to live as the storm, you must stop fearing your power. You must stop diluting yourself to be digestible. You must stop apologizing for the way your eyes pierce through facades, for the way your silence makes people uncomfortable, for the way your mere existence challenges illusions others are still trying to protect. You are not here to be liked. You are here to shake foundations, to bring endings, to birth beginnings, to embody the sacred chaos that precedes evolution itself. And that means you will be misunderstood. You will be feared. You will be worshipped and hated, sometimes in the same breath. But none of that matters, because by now you've remembered the only thing that ever did: your alignment. When you are aligned with your truth, nothing can touch you. People may talk, attack, resist, but they cannot reach the core of you, because you've gone too deep. You've bled too much. You've faced the dragons in your own soul and made them allies. You've sat in your own darkness and found the divine staring back. And now you are the one others will seek when their world begins to fall apart. Not because you have all the answers, but because you are the answer. Your presence carries codes. Your voice carries frequencies. Your energy is ancient technology. You don't need to convince. You don't need to prove. You simply are. So how do you move through the world now? You walk with presence. You speak with clarity. You love with ferocity and distance. You give without losing yourself. You create without asking permission. You protect your peace like a sovereign realm. Your boundaries are not walls, they are spells. Your discipline is not rigidity, it is reverence. Your silence is not absence, it is sacred space. And when life tests you, you don't collapse, you transmute. You don't react, you respond. You don't seek revenge, you become calmer. Because you've mastered the art of existing between worlds. You've become both the flame and the ash, the sword and the hand that wields it, the storm and the silence after. So now I ask you, in this final moment, what will you do with the night inside you? Will you hide it, fearing its depth? Or will you rise with it, crowned in its mystery? Because the world needs you now more than ever, not as a savior, not as a teacher, but as a reminder. A living embodiment of the truth they've forgotten. That the darkness is not to be feared, it is to be understood. It is to be honored. It is to be lived. And that is the final seal. You are the storm that can't be touched. You are the night that remembers. You are the dark chosen one. Walk, speak, breathe. Be as such.